In today's video, we're going to go over 5 things that you should never waste money on. And you guys, this is coming from the perspective of a millionaire. So I really think you should take these to heart and think about whether or not you are spending your money on these things because they're absolutely unnecessary. Hi everyone, my name is Helen. Welcome to my channel. In today's video, we're going to go over 5 things that you should never waste your money on. So let's just get started. The first thing that you should never waste your money on is actually going to be bank fees. Now, when you set up a checking account, a savings account, or some other type of account with a bank, a lot of them will have certain fees that they apply to maintain those accounts. The exact amount differs by the bank, but for most banks, it's going to be between $10 and $15 per month. It may even be more if you have certain types of account. Even with the average fees that you can expect from any kind of bank, that $10 to $15, that adds up very fast when you look at it on an annual basis. So you'd be paying between $120 and $180 every year. And I'm sure for a lot of you, that extra cash could be very useful in your day-to-day life, or even as something to help build up your savings accounts and your investment accounts. So when it comes to these bank fees, you really don't want to be paying them. Now, the thing about bank fees is that typically there are things that can get those bank fees waived through the bank. So for example, some banks will waive those fees if you keep a minimum balance in that account. So maybe they require you to keep $100 in the account, $1,000 in the account. The exact amount does vary by bank, but if you keep your account above that amount the entire month, you won't be getting charged those fees in those situations. The other things that they may offer as far as waiving fees might be, for example, a direct deposit into the bank, or they might waive your fees if you have a certain number of purchases each month from that account. Now, you also have to keep in mind some banks have certain accounts that do not have any fees or any charges for maintenance, and if your bank does offer that, I would go with that type of account if you can. Now, keep in mind, every bank is different and the requirements do vary, so you want to make sure you're paying attention to whatever fees are charged and find out if there are any ways to waive those fees. The second thing that you should not be wasting your money on is extended warranties. Now, this is an area where my husband and I really did learn from experience, because when we first got married, when we started buying our own electronics and other things, we did buy some extended warranties, and we actually never used them. There was not a time when we ever felt that we needed to use those, because ultimately the products worked just fine after the initial warranty ran out, and the extended warranty didn't really benefit us in any way. The other thing that you have to keep in mind when it comes to extended warranties is that a lot of times you aren't actually saving any money by getting those. Now, if you, for example, have an extended warranty for 1 year that you've been paying on, and that extended warranty, for example, let's say you dropped your phone or you broke your tablet or your computer, whatever was under that warranty, well, you usually have to pay a deductible for that before they will actually replace it or repair it, depending on what kind of warranty you have gotten. But the thing about that is that a lot of times the deductible combined with the monthly charges is going to add up to quite a bit more than you anticipate, and sometimes it's not even enough to make it worth that extended warranty. Most of the time, you'll find that what they replace it with is going to be the same phone, but it's refurbished or it's used. So the price of that phone, if you just bought it after your initial phone broke, it's going to be about the same. So you want to really take into account, do you even need that extended warranty? Is there a reason that you're considering it? And if you're thinking it might not be worth paying that extra money for, you probably shouldn't. Typically, I would say extended warranties are not necessary for most people. The third thing that you should not be wasting your money on is bottled water. Now, bottled water is one of those things that when I look at it, I think I shouldn't buy that because it's bad for the environment and I don't really need to. So what you want to do if you want to be drinking a lot more water and you're trying to get healthier and maybe you're trying to stay hydrated is get a reusable water bottle. Typically, I would recommend a metal bottle because that has a lot of benefits as far as keeping your water cool throughout the day. But you want to have a reusable bottle. And the other thing you want to keep in mind when it comes to your water bottles is that If you're finding that water tastes a little off, you can always get a filter. So what we do is we drink filtered water and we put it in our water bottles, and we have not bought any bottled water in probably a good 5 years. So it's really helpful for the environment, and it also helps save you a lot of money over time because filters, they last for like a month or two, maybe 3, depending on what type you get. And your water bottle that you're using, it's reusable, so you can keep using it for years as long as you're maintaining it. The fourth thing that you should not be wasting your money on is expedited shipping. Now, expedited shipping is something you'll see that you pay an extra fee for that will get you something delivered perhaps the same day or within a certain time frame, like 2, 3 hours, 4 hours, whatever it is, depending on when you purchase that item. My experience with expedited shipping is that most of the time they don't even get it to our door at the right time. So my husband and I have expedited shipping a few times, and when we have chosen that, the item didn't arrive when it was supposed to. It actually took the same amount of time it would have taken with regular shipping. So we were obviously very disappointed with that. The other thing that we discovered with that is that most of the time it's just a lack of planning that causes you to buy that. If you don't need an item right away, expedited shipping really isn't worth the extra cost. And if you're buying a lot of products online all the time, those expedited shipping costs can add up very quickly. So instead of expediting your shipping, just plan in advance and make a list of the things you need so that you can get those items in the regular shipping, which is typically between 2 and 5 days. The fifth thing that you should not be wasting your money on is going to be ATM fees. Now, ATM fees are one of those things that we often don't really consider when we're maybe going about our normal day and we decide we want to stop somewhere and surprisingly they don't take credit cards. A lot of times, those are the kind of situations that lead you to going to some random ATM that is not within your bank's network and taking out money and paying somewhere between $3 and $5 just for that money. It is your money, of course, so you don't want to be spending money to withdraw it. The key to ATM fees is that you just simply don't withdraw money from an ATM, or if you do need to take money out through an ATM, you go to an ATM that is in your bank's network. Typically, that would be your bank's own ATMs. Now, a simple way to avoid ATM fees is simply to always carry a credit card and carry a little bit of cash in your wallet. If you are finding that you need to buy something that costs more than the cash you have and the place where you're buying it is not accepting credit cards, then you might consider going to an ATM that is not in your network. But the situation is that if you do go to something that's out of your bank's network, you will be charged a fee. Now, some banks will actually waive those fees for a certain number of times each month. So if you aren't sure about whether your bank offers that kind of a service, ask your bank if they will waive the fees if you do find yourself in that kind of a situation. Alternatively, you can simply just walk away from that purchase and come back to it at a later date when you do have enough cash for it. That's going to be it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please subscribe and I will see you in the next one.